This is going to piss me off. A lot of men are walking around with toxic masculinity and selfishness. I rarely meet other men that are stand-up guys. Again, I think there's a really... I would love to have a conversation about this. I don't think this is necessarily like any sort of like framework for like manhood or anything like that. But again, saying that like, yeah, all these guys with fucking tattoos and muscles and fucking 6'5" and big dicks. Yeah, I think they're fucking losers. Like, that's such cope, bro. Get the fuck out of here. I smell a vegan among us. Like, no offense, but this is just giving off fucking soy vibes. If you're a dude, I want you to give examples of how you're living up to this idea of fucking manhood. I want to apologize 1,000,000 fucking percent. I would get on my hands and knees and beg for this person's fucking forgiveness right now. No impression 335. This is absolutely based Casual Exchanges podcast, where most of the time we are going to try to walk through thinking about novel, everyday, normie problems. But the rest of the time, we are going to have to point out when something is completely fucking dumb and brain dead. Okay? This is going to be a lot like those super rare coffee beans that they pull out of like elephant shit. Okay, well, sometimes you get those rare coffee beans. Other times it's just a pile of elephant shit. Welcome in. This. Oh, I shouldn't have picked this thread. It just like, it caught my eye. This other men don't impress me. Like, okay, and so, kind of interesting already. Like, why does that matter? Like, why does it? I overall wouldn't have an issue with like, okay, maybe there are two ways to go about this. Either other people don't impress you because you're not looking for people to impress you. You know what I mean? You hold a pretty stable view and you reserve judgments. Or it's that your judgments are very high and people don't meet those, so they don't impress you. And so the former, it's like, oh, okay, this person maybe has some interesting views. The second one, oh, well, this person is just a judgmental, piece of shit who thinks he's for some reason better than other people, which is pretty unlikely. But maybe this guy's the master of the universe. Savings penalty 3517. Jesus, I hope I don't keep getting out of breath reading because that's gonna be a little unfortunate. This is gonna piss me off. A lot of men are walking around with toxic masculinity and selfishness. I rarely meet other men that are stand-up guys. Men that despite what toxic... what is this English? Men that despite what toxic masculinity says, chooses to be themselves and express themselves in whichever way possible. Okay. A lot of guys are putting on a facade of male bravado. You think having tattoos and muscles is impressive. Legit couldn't be the most unimpressive thing ever. Okay, so either this sickness is like encephalitis and it's eating a part of my brain, or this person has never written anything in their fucking life. Let me know in the comments, because maybe I need to go to the hospital. Trying to impress people because of harboring some deep insecurity or having outdated false concepts of manhood. When my brother died, I thought my life was over, but a guy who was totally comfortable with himself hugged me, and we discussed the passing of my brother, literally the one person, shouldn't there be a comma there? Jesus, fuck. That gave me hope in that moment. That's what I consider a stand-up guy and a real man, not a majority. Like, still no comma. We're still going. Not a majority of these dudes, in my opinion, today. So no, I'm just not impressed by a majority of other men. Okay. So I think they're really interesting. I'm gonna have to go. I can't. I literally cannot reread this. I think it will actually cost me valuable brain cells. That I just can't afford in my current state. Okay, so bear with me here. I think there are absolutely interesting conversations to be had around things like masculinity. Okay, I probably don't agree with this idea that like all masculinity is toxic. I'm happy to have a conversation about it and let people, fucking millennials and Gen Zers, convince me though. Selfishness. Okay, yeah, selfishness is bad. Whether the person is man or woman, or they're other. Rarely meet other men that are stand-up guys. Again, what is your definition of a stand-up guy? You gave like one example, and it's the one guy that gave you a hug after your brother died. Okay, I'm sorry your brother died, but that's like a weird standard to hold people to. Like, do you need another brother to die so that somebody else can hug you and be a stand-up guy? I'm confused. Oh, Jesus, I didn't even read it. To be themselves and express themselves. Okay, so like this. Okay, over here you're shitting on guys with tattoos and muscles. Maybe that's how they express themselves, but you're shitting them on for it. So I'm confused. This facade male bravado's like, again, and this isn't like having muscles. Is that like a facade of male bravado? I'm curious. Like everybody has muscles. They may not have control over like how they display those muscles. Some people are just naturally more muscular or like more lean. Like if I lean down and I wasn't so fat right now, I'd probably have a decent display of muscles. Nobody believes that. I'm kidding, but like seriously, if I flex my bicep, is that this facade of male bravado? I also have a tattoo. It's not clear to me that anything you're saying is coherent or inherently bad. Okay, so if you're trying to have an interesting conversation around what you think, like the males or the male like template should be for, you know, being like a good guy in today's society, you're failing miserably. Okay. Trying to impress people because of harboring some deep insecurity, outdated false concepts of manhood. Outdated false concept of manhood. Okay, sure. Again, trying to impress people. This I get this. Yeah, some people are doing it out of like an insecurity thing, but some people may not be trying to impress people, and they really are just like impressive or do things that are outside the norm. And then some people could just be trying to impress other people. When you are young and trying to impress a girl, are you doing it out of like insecurity, or are you doing it to gain favor? You know what I mean? When I show my boss this thing that I worked really hard on, is it because I'm so fucking insecure that she's gonna fire me, or is it because I'm trying to show her, hey, I think I did pretty good on this, and it shows a level of my competency. Maybe put that in my review. You know what I mean? Like again, so these things are not striking me as like inherently bad, and I don't see how you're convincing me of like your idea of like toxic masculinity or anything like that. Overall, like so far, just very boring, lukewarm take, in my opinion. And again, this part, okay. I thought my life was over. A guy who was totally comfortable with himself hugged me. We discussed the passing of my brother. Literally the only person that gave me hope. So like, I guess if this person would have been a woman, there would be just no good men on the end. And also, I want you to give examples of how you are living up. Does this person even say whether they're a dude or a chick? If you're a dude, I want you to give examples of how you're living up to this idea of fucking manhood. Because again, it's real easy to shit on other people. Oh, yeah, you have muscles, fucking loser. Like, oh, okay, say it to that guy's face. See if he doesn't beat the shit out of you. You know what I mean? Oh, you have tattoos, fucking loser. It's like, yeah, okay. Like, I smell a vegan among us. Like, no offense, but this is just giving off fucking soy vibes. And again, I don't want to diminish this part that like his brother died. That's very sad. Was your brother like a really stand-up dude? To explain to me how your brother fit into your idea of manhood, or something like this. Because all you've given so far is like some dude hugged you. And if that's all it takes, I hug other dudes all the time, right? Like nothing weird, dick to dick. It's all good. You know what I mean? But this just feels like it's a lot of like, well, I don't feel like I like these things, without giving any substantive alternative. You're not actually giving any sort of like outline. You're just giving critiques, which, in my opinion, lacks constructiveness. Man, I shouldn't have done this. I shouldn't have. How long have I been going? Is it too early to quit? My experience, a good percentage of those guys with tats, big arms, are very open with their emotions. Oh my God, is this going to be based in feelings towards their friends and even strangers? I'm sorry you didn't have more men like that, regardless of how they look when your brother died. There are plenty more of them, but they aren't shouting about it. Sometimes it's easy to judge people by their appearance or dismiss the character of a whole group of people based on a bad experience, stereotypes, or limited experience with real people IRL. Best advice is to meet each other with an open mind and a good heart. I've found that the way you can quickly identify dickheads and be treated well by good people. Thinking they are all dickheads before you even speak to them tend to be a self-fulfilling prophecy. I want to apologize 1,000,000 fucking percent. I would get on my hands and knees and beg for this person's fucking forgiveness right now. No impression 335. This is absolutely based beyond what I ever fucking imagined right now. I thought this was going a whole different direction. I am glad that I learned to read this past weekend, and I was able to read this whole fucking comment. Absolutely. Wow, what a novel fucking concept. Not judging people because they have fucking tattoos or muscles, which again, just to be clear, is the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard in my fucking life. Okay, you want to talk about fucking a toxic trait? Yeah, immediately judging somebody because they have tattoos or muscles. Not only toxic, dumb as fuck. But okay, let me get back to being constructive here. This is crazy. Like the first comment on this thread, and I'm actually so glad it has so many upvotes here. I'm blown away. I can't believe I almost exited out of this thread and turned this shit off 30 seconds in. Thank God I found this. Okay. Yeah, this is another thing. Yes, yes, big dudes with tats and big arms are going to be less open, like overtly open. They're not out there fucking starting a fucking High School Musical about their feelings or stuff or something, but that doesn't mean they're not open to like discussing it. Okay, fucking excellent point. Okay, just to be clear. And yes, this guy touches on another good point, that this person, the original poster, is just overgeneralizing based on the fact that not enough people hugged him after he went through a very hard time. Okay, like, these are all absolutely good points. And then, yes, he's this last part that, like, oh, you think everybody is a dickhead. You're treating everybody like they're a dickhead, and so they act like a dickhead. Yeah, that's going to happen. You know what I mean? If you're assuming everybody is a dick and that's how you're treating them, they're going to treat you like a dick. Like, yes, but you're really the dick, okay? Wow. Yeah, and this is what I touched on. People with muscles and tattoos aren't inherently bad. Again, I think there's I would love to have a conversation about this. I don't think this is necessarily like any sort of like framework for like manhood or anything like that. But again, saying that like, yeah, all these guys with fucking tattoos and muscles and fucking 6'5" and big dicks. Yeah, I think they're fucking losers. Like, that's such cope, bro. Get the fuck out of here. Yeah, look at this guy. I'm a muscle tattoo guy. I always tell my male friends, love you. Nobody believes you have muscles. But yeah, right on, bro. I'm totally kidding. Yeah, no, I don't understand how you come up with any sort of meaningful critique of people that you don't know. Again, you can critique opinions if these people are coming up to you and this big muscly tattooed guy comes up and tells you, you're a fucking pussy. Like, yeah, you could critique his opinion of you, and you can critique potentially the reasons he gives you for being a pussy. You don't have tattoos, you don't have muscles, you're a pussy. Like, yeah, you can critique all that. But seeing some guy in passing and then just being like, yeah, that guy's a loser. It's like, what leads you to that? I'm curious. When you're painting with broad brushes, you gotta be careful of that. Okay, like maybe try to give some specific examples. I'm saying that as I'm here literally fucking painting with the biggest brush just on the fucking internet, shit posting on Reddit. But I feel to be a little charitable to myself, I feel like I try to give specifics. Okay, so let me know in the comments. Maybe I'm fucking unhinged. I don't know. But I feel like this is fair. Good for you for being 6'5" and jacked with tats. I don't wake up in the morning to impress you. Again, this is fair because the original poster. You're lacking emotional intelligence here. Yep, that's fair. Yeah, and there's another thing. Like, people don't do that shit for you. Like, again, I don't think there's anything wrong. Like, again, if I had muscles, it would be because like I do like some sort of training and stuff like that. That could be a byproduct. That could, like, just a happy thing because I am physically active to be capable and do things and things like that. It could just be a happy byproduct. You know what I mean? It's not clear to me that the people that you're seeing with fucking muscles and tattoos are doing it because like, hey, look at me. You know what I mean? Maybe the tattoos, but even that, there was the other guy, and I feel like this is pretty common practice, who says like, oh, hey, my tattoos are memorials. I know a lot, like all of my dad's tattoos, those are all memorials. There's some, they give they have some level of meaning to him. They're not for anybody else. That's my tattoo as well. And I feel like that's relatively common practice. Don't get me wrong. I know some people who will fucking tattoo literally anything on them. You know what I mean? That's how I got the juicy tramp stamp. But again, I feel like it's it was just kind of overgeneralized in the original. And then there's always one. You're stand up. You are so correct. Stand up guys are very rare. It's not clear to me that that's the case. Again, I know. And again, you need to define. Okay, go ahead and define stand up guy. You know what I mean? And let me know how these people are not meeting up to your fucking your gold standard expectation. You know what I mean? But also, it's not clear to me that your standard means fuck all outside of your own opinion, outside of your own fucking head. Yeah, good for you. All right. So I'm going to do a little bit of a wrap up here. Okay, to be charitable, I think there's a good conversation to be had about like what your expectations are. You know what I mean? Around certain people and roles and things like that. Okay, but the way you want to approach that, okay, is probably somewhat pointed. You want to have specific examples of like, hey, maybe these are things we work on, and these other things, hey, maybe these are things we, that we're doing well and we try to do even better. Okay, when you're just painting in a broad brush, especially this broad where it's just like guys with tattoos and muscles, it's gonna come off pretty dull, and it's gonna be received as such. And people are gonna have a lot of questions. People are not gonna give a ton of charity to that dull level of analysis. You know what I mean? And rightfully so. So again, interesting conversations to be had. Unfortunately, original poster guy, he kind of missed the mark on this one. And that's all, folks. If you liked the video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. If you didn't like the video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. That way you can talk shit on my next video too, all right? Have fun. Let's try to do this again sometime.